Hi everybody, my name is Bobby Grenier. I am the math coach for grades 3 through 5 at Pajaro Valley Unified School District, and even though I'm a math coach, I have 25 plus years of technology experience, and also I'm a certified Google trainer. So I'm using a variety of different software today, and if you have any questions about any of it, go ahead and ask. I'm actually broadcasting to you using Ecamm, which is a broadcast software, and that's what I usually use for my recordings. But we're going to be using WeVideo today, which is a tool that's readily available to most educators. I will be giving you a link here. Let me put it into the chat. So you should have your chat open because I will be handing you several links. There's a bit.ly link, and what that's going to open up for you is a Google document that's not going to look too impressive, and I'll explain why later. But the important part is in this document. I filled it with links for you. So what I'd like to do today is to start by introducing one of my animated characters to you who will be guiding you today. So just give me a second here, and I will change. There you go. So I'm using Adobe Character Animator, and this is a paid version that enables me to move my character around. Like, I have control of the movements. I can do different things, and it is using AI technology. It's following my face and my eyes, and as I talk. The free version that you'll be using today does not do these same things, but it has a lot of movement with it, and you're going to see kind of the difference. So I wanted to show you the paid version, and I'm going to use my animation today will be guiding this workshop. So let's see, now let's go to, I have a lot of buttons and whistles here, and there we are. So what you're seeing is you're seeing my character in the bottom corner, and then you're seeing a slide deck that I created in Canva. Now, I gave you the bit.ly to the Google deck, and the Google deck is going to be what I used to kind of prompt this deck in Canva. So I've got multiple things going, but I used the Google to get started, and then I pulled it into the Canva, and I'm going to show you how to do that a little bit down the road here today. So the idea behind this project is to create an animated video to promote student engagement. And I want you to think of it like you're creating a co-teacher for your lesson who will help break up the monotony of just you presenting to your students. I mean, don't you think, like right now you're looking at the character, and I don't know, I think that the character is a lot more interesting. I have control over things. I can gesture, I can point at the screen, I can move my head and my eyes and give movement to me as a presenter. And the kids don't tend to feel too badly about, like, you know, they're hearing my voice, they know it's teacher. Or like we're going to do today, I will show you how to use AI to create like a totally different character that is going to be like a co-teacher alongside you. Moving into our next Canva slide. So I want to show you a few quick examples of how I used AI to create these little videos. I'm gonna hop out of our Canva for a second and take you over to YouTube. And now this is one that I created. This one's using complete AI to create it. So I used Canva for the slides that you're seeing, the background that you're seeing here. And the voice that you're going to hear is completely AI generated. And I used a voice on purpose for this one where the voice sounds a little bit more AI. And also the character is going to be from Adobe Character Animator, the free version. So let's sit back and watch this, just a little bit of it.
So, what is a biography? Pause and discuss for a few minutes. And, what do you think a mathography is? Pause once more to share your thoughts with each other.
All right, so when you listen to that, what you're going to hear is you're going to hear these prompts for pauses. So he talks a little bit and kind of sparks the idea for the students, and then tells the teacher to pause the video, and that gives the teacher the opportunity then to step back in and be back in control, of the conversation in the classroom. Then when the teacher's done, the kids your students have had that conversation, then you come back to the video and you start it back up again. And so that's kind of how I've set these up. All right, so one of these, the first one is all AI. It's an AI, what we're going to do today, AI generated voice. And then we're going to start with AI generated script. From script, we're going to go to speech. From speech, we're going to go to creating an animated video. And then we're going to go to editing that video and adding a little bit, whatever you want. So the second one that I just gave you is my voice. So you don't necessarily have to use the AI, but you can if you want to. So let's get started. Let's move on to the next slide. All right, so you did a fabulous job of presenting ChatGPT 3 today, and there's a couple other ones that I wanted to give you guys some links to. Today we're going to be using Bard, which is Google's, and there's another one called Diffit that I'm just starting to use that's more focused, I think, on education. So getting started with the content of the video, I think ChatGPT and Bard are probably the two most popular ones, but a couple things to know is that ChatGPT 3, which is the free one, is most likely blocked by your school district at this time. And you can get yourself a free account to that using your personal email account. Also, Bard, which is Google's AI, will not work with your school email at this time. So you'll have to use your private personal email address in a new Chrome window to be able to create an account. You'd log in with your Google account to be able to use Bard. So we're going to use Bard for today's project, and let's take a look at that together. When you get to Bard, this is what you'll see. And all you have to do is go down here and click Try Bard. It's going to prompt you then for your email. And do not use your school email because the districts have it blocked right now. So use your private email. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to have you watch as I prompt Bard for some content that I want. I think of the prompts as keywords, just like you would in doing search. The keywords are very important. With the AI, you can give it commands and be a little bit more specific than you are when you do a Google search, but it definitely operates on a keyword principle. So you're going to enter your keywords in the form of a command or a question, telling it exactly what you want. The more specific, I always am a little bit general in the beginning, and then I get more specific with exactly what it is I want. And let me switch over here, I have another Bard page open with my account. So I'm logged in on my personal account. And what you're going to notice here is it's got some information in here about Bard. And I just come in here and I put what I want here in the prompt area. You notice that there's also a microphone that, like, if you have a lot of information that you want, you can just vocally tell it. That might save some typing time. What I did for us today is I got my prompts together a little bit ahead. So what I thought we would do is to make a little video that we could use for the start of school, something involving class norms and rules. So my first prompt is this, and I'm going to stick it into the chat for you if you wanted to prompt Bard. To be kind of fun to see if you get the same response that I got. And then notice here that I've got some typing in blue. So what I did was, the information that you see in the black is information that Bard gave me. And then I came in here in blue just for you today so you could see the difference. And I inputted some text because I know that I want to take this into a video and I need it to sound more human. And what I get from Bard won't necessarily sound human. Let me show you. I'm going to hop back into Bard. Let's put in that prompt. So all I want is explain to a fourth grader in as few words as possible the need for classroom norms and rules. All right, so it's giving me a list. It's interesting because each time I do this, I get something a little bit different. So what I'm going to recommend is, like, for these videos, don't use the whole text, just use some of it. Pick out what you think is the most important and use that. And so you'll see over here that I chose the just a couple classroom norms, or like rules for the road for a classroom, and just a couple of things because I wanted them, to like focus on being safe and respectful. So I picked two that I thought were more general for norms. And then this is my other prompt for Bard. Drop it into the chat and I'll take a look. I see there's a question in the chat while that's cooking. No questions? Okay. So here's Bard giving me a big list of be respectful, be responsible, be safe, engage, organize. These are pretty much the same as what it gave me before. And you'll see here what I chose to do was I took only a few of them. Like, I put them all in here because I liked the norms. And then I did the same thing for the, I wanted an outline of rules, but I wanted it to be different from the norms. And so it gave me a big list. And what I did was, you'll see in the video I put together that I didn't take all of these. I picked a couple. So pick a few that you think are the most important, unless you want them all, but you really want these videos to go like 2 or 3 minutes long. And that should include, like, if you're going to have pause time for your students to be able to have a class discussion, then you don't really want the video to be longer than that, because otherwise your lesson's just going to be way too long. And you could see at the end I added some text, because I want them to do this collaboration moment. So I put it in there, and you're going to see why as we move forward. So moving forward from text, now we're in audio. Now, what we need to do here is we're going to need to convert the text to speech using AI to create a voice that's not yours. And I've got a few options linked here for you in the Google Slides. I went to Big Speak earlier this week because that's the one I had been using, and they had changed a bunch of stuff, and it wasn't working quite the same way, so I am opting today for us to use 11 Labs, which is one that's fairly new to me. It is free. You can only do 333 characters max at a time, and we're gonna go there, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So let's go way back up to the top. I'll start at the very beginning here with the Hello Students part. Let me copy that, go over to 11 Labs. We'll put that in. And what it's showing you right now is 128 characters is what I have there, so that you can get an idea of how long. I wouldn't be able to get both of those other paragraphs that I had in there together. So what I'm going to do is break it up into segments, which is really great actually. It allows you to do a lot more when you're editing. It's not as difficult. But it was spitting. I don't know if you noticed that. And now we have Adam. Let me know if you can hear this.
Hello, students. Today we're going to set some classroom norms and rules, but before we do that, let me explain what those are.
So all we did was we're going to take a little bit of text, we put it in. Now, I personally didn't like Adam's voice. Try a different voice and see which one you like. I liked Anthony. He's got a nice cadence and a friendly sound that I thought my students would like. But, you know, there might be one, like if you're teaching little kids, maybe you want something that sounds a little more playful. If you've got older kids, you can pick a more serious voice. So basically, when you're done, you've got the one you want, you can listen to it, and then you come over here and you click on the download. And you want to make sure you're downloading to an area where you know where it's at. And if you knew me, everything's on my desktop. So you would save that, because you're going to need it again when we get to WeVideo. You're going to be uploading all of these sound files. We're going to go to Adobe Express Character Animator. And you know what? There's another one here that's audio to video. And I'm just starting to experiment with that one, but I thought I would include it for you in case you wanted to try it out. We're going to use the Adobe Express Character Animator, but the other one will make some pretty cool little videos. So you might want to check that out too. That should be in the Google slide deck that I sent you. Adobe Character Animator, the free version, you don't have all the control like I have of my character here, where I can move things myself and it's following my mouth. But what it does, it uses AI to try to give you some vocal features that match the sound file. So you're going to do a couple of things here. You're going to be scrolling through and looking at the different characters and deciding which characters are appropriate for your grade levels. Okay, and then you need to decide whether you want, like Leonard here, who's a full body character, or if you want to use a half body character. Like I've got Gareth up here in the corner, and you could see that he's a little more than a half body. I've got his pretty much at his knees, so he's a little bit bigger. But, you know, some of them, like the smiley, and then you can resize him as well using this resizing tool. You can, and you can move them around. You can put them where you want them. Let me go back to Gareth, because I'm gonna use Gareth today as my example, but you're free to use whatever you want. The difference being that the half body doesn't take up as much room as the full body does. So, you know, you could kind of plan what your presentation is going to look like. Like, for example, you could see here that I have my character down in the bottom corner, and all this area here is my presentation area, but I saved this little corner for my character. And you're going to want to do the same thing. You need to look and see which way the character is facing, and that will kind of decide which corner you need to then design your background presentation. So like those Google Docs that I gave you, those are my the start of my backgrounds for my presentation that I've been using in Canva. Great question. Can you use your own character? So I will tell you that you cannot use your own character in the free version of the character animator. This one that's paid for, you can create your own character, but I will also tell you that it is not easy. It is not easy to create a character. And in fact, the character that I use is actually from a character that they made, that Adobe made and gave me as a puppet. So the little characters are actually called puppets. And you can create your own, but like I've been working on trying to create one using my Bitmoji, and it's very labor intensive. I still don't have it done. So I'd go with one of the freebies here, because you want these to be like not labor intensive for you. You want to be able to just generate these little videos quickly, because they're just meant, you know, for student engagement. All right. Another thing is the full body characters they move, like their whole body is moving. So you kind of have to see how the character's gonna act. If you look at that video, that first one, the mathography that I shared with you, if you go back later and look at that, you'll see that character's whole body, has movement, and I had to take that into consideration. You can manipulate the location of your character when you're in WeVideo, so just keep that in mind. So right now what you're going to do is pick your character, then we're going to go to background. Let me hop back over here, get my mouse where it needs to be so I can show that to you. All right, lots of backgrounds to pick from, but none of these are what we want. So let me get us all the way down here to the bottom. What you're going to need to do is what I did. You need to get the circle here over into the green. So move this into the green, because we're going to do green screen on the characters. So just click, once you get that, click the color, and now you'll see that my character is on top of a green screen, and that's what I want. The next thing I want to do is go over to size. And I like to use landscape because it gives me more options. I can move my character around using WeVideo once I'm in the editing mode, but I also, it just makes it a little easier because I know I'm using presentation slides, and this is the, this is what I need. This is the size I want. For that, it makes it easier because you can see that he's set up in that bottom corner. So I've got all of this area that I can use for my background presentation. So I've got a couple of things that I have to make a decision on. If you want to record it yourself, you just click that and start talking or reading your text. Like you could have read the script. So if you want to bypass the animation for the voice, you can do that. It really speeds this process up. Or you can choose the audio files, but here you have to choose an audio file, like one of those at a time. So you're going to record however many audio files you have. You're going to need to record that same number of your character talking. So we would be choosing our audio file and just clicking on that, and then going and finding that file, and then once you choose it, this will take off and start generating the file, and it'll give you a download, and you just save that download. I save it to the exact same place that I saved the audio files. Once you get the downloads, those are what you're going to be able to use in WeVideo. You're going to upload all of these green screens into WeVideo. I wanted to show you, just look at this, what you're looking at right now. In that Google slide deck, I had the words up here and the Canva link on a black background. That's all I had, because I knew that that was going to be, you know, my starting point. I knew that once I brought it into Canva, I would add all this motion and interest. So that's what Canva does really well that others don't. Adobe Express can do this really well also, but I'm really digging Canva these days. So I've got layers going on here. You know, that my Canva is my background layer, and then I've got my character here on top of all of that. And so I'm planning, my planning has to be like, my head has to think of things in terms of layers. This is what I created just with the Google Slides. And you can see that, like, I created the first one right here. This first one was created using Adobe Firefly. So if you want to create some really cool images that you can use for a background, this was a solid background that I created, but it doesn't have any movement going on. So I knew that I wanted this to be my background, and I knew that I would pull it into Canva and I would add all kinds of motion and movement onto it to bring this slide to life. So you can do that or not do that. It's up to you. I'm just showing you the possibilities. Let's go to Canva. Now this is my Canva, and like here's today's presentation in here where I pulled in my Google. It's really easy to do. All you have to do is add new. Do you see that up here? You click add new and upload. And you can upload your Google presentation. And that's what I did that created my animation for today. Now let me close that. The other thing I could do is to I could add new to add a new set of slides, which is what I've done over here. I created some slides before we met today, and let me go in and open that for you. So I scrolled around Canva looking for some templates, and I started using some templates over here that, like, I was going with superhero kind of themes. And then I saw this one that had a really nice, it's very plain, and that's kind of what you're looking for. If there's too much, it could overwhelm what you're trying to do with your little video. So I wanted something that would let me present my information very plain and clear, and knowing that I was going to put a character down here in the left-hand corner of it. So here, I did this on purpose. Basically, this one's a mistake. And if you look at it, you'll see that the problem is that my character is going to be over the top of some of this. And when we get into WeVideo, I left it as a mistake so I could show you like a little bit of a workaround if you do something like that. You know, you don't have to start completely over. But basically what I did was I took our norms and then class rules. You see how simple I made it? Because I know my character's going to be doing all the talking. I don't want to have a lot of words and stuff up here. I want them to listen to the character. So these are the background slides for today. So I picked a template that was super easy to use with my character. I got lots of room. And then what I wanted to do was to go and add some sparkles and things like that. And I need to go up here to elements. Let me get my mouse in the right place. There he is. Elements. And it takes a second. I'm gonna go to some that I've already found, but I'll tell you it's kind of like your keywords are like fireworks, glitter, sparkly, whatever, dancing, robot. So let me click, and you can kind of see these are some of the ones that I've been using. So, for example, I could grab that one. It pops it into Canva. And let's see. Maybe I want to shrink it down. What are my options here? I can layer it. I can align it. I can do all kinds of stuff with it. But maybe I want to make it look like my fire, the engine like took off and left some of the ground burning or something like that. Okay, I added a little bit of movement in there. That with my character is plenty. My students will be like entertained. Maybe we do this one and I shrink it down a little bit and make that go around. Now I've got a little more interest going. So you could kind of see what I'm doing. But basically what I'm doing is just adding a little pop of interest to get my kids engaged. Because remember, I got a character that's moving. So I think you've got the information on how to do the slides in Canva. The next step is really probably one of the more important ones. The next one we're going to do is WeVideo. And you have to think about yourself like you are the guy behind the desk. You're controlling all of the action, what your viewers are going to see. You've got to think about all of this in terms of layers. WeVideo was kind enough today when we told them that we were going to be using their software to offer the 1 month free trial. So you can go to WeVideo.com and you can do this on your own. You'll have 1 month, and if you're at PVUSD, you can contact me through email, or any of our technology TOSAs can help you get WeVideo accounts set up, because our district provides it for us. So, and as technology goes, WeVideo this week changed how everything is laid out and where it's laid out at. So I was scrambling a little bit because this looks a little different to me. But essentially what you could do with WeVideo is you can use it as a video editor, or it actually can be used for an entire classroom to work together on a project. Or you could have groups in your classroom that can work together on projects. So it's really robust. And I have found it to be one of the easiest to use video editors. So to get going, you would set up an account for yourself. You could also use, like I'm using Ecamm right now, which is normally what I use to record. You could use that. The link for the Ecamm is in the slide deck. And Screencastify you could use, because what we're going to do to start with is we're going to be recording our desktop, and we're going to put on our desktop the slides that we created in Canva. So I'll have to show you what I'm talking about and how it kind of works. We'll go into my week video so I can show you. So basically what I did here is I imported desktop recordings of each of the slide decks for this little video that we're making. I would recommend that you record them for like a minute or 2 minutes. You could see, like, I only did like 19 seconds here. It really wasn't enough. I had to pull it in a couple of times, which you could do. It loads faster when it's shorter, but it was a little bit more work on my part. Really easy to create something. You have these main menu, and you can open something recent, or you can come in here and it should have, like I'm already in the editor, but if I wasn't, it would ask me, it would prompt me if I wanted to start a new video. Let me hop back to the dashboard. If I get rid of that, see here where it says create, and it asks me if I want to make a video, I can just click video, and it's going to start getting things ready for me. And here's my uploads, my media. So I wanted to show you right here, when you start it, this project bin up here, that's how I would import. And right here, this record, when I click that, that's where I'm going to record my screen. I don't want my webcam because I don't want to be in the recording. I just want my screen. So I would pull up and go full screen with my my Google slide deck, or my Canva slide deck. One slide. Click this to screen, and I would record that one slide, and then when you're done, it'll prompt you to stop. And then it'll keep that recording in WeVideo for you. You don't have to upload it. And you have to do that slide by slide by slide. When you do that, you end up like with what I had of each slide. Now the other thing that I did was I uploaded all the different clips. These are all the different sound clips that the character animator made the character talking that I had. Okay, so I've got them all there, and I have all of these. So all of these slides are going to be on one layer, and all the clips are going to be on another layer. So let me show you what that looks like. Let's see if I can shrink that up a little bit. So you can see here I have one layer. Let me get my character out of the way here for you. It helps if you can see the whole thing. I have one layer that's all my green screen guy. And I'll show you how to get rid of that green screen, what I did. My base layer, the first layer, is all of my slides that I did. Those are now little videos. And it's just a video of the slide deck, one slide. And you can see here, let me get over here and scroll a little bit. I had to add another video layer because this is my oops one. Remember that one where I said that I didn't lay my text out right? I'll show you what I did. And then I have one moment where I want the video to be paused. I have a moment where I want collaboration to happen. And so I added a text layer. The way to do that is by adding a track. And then you could choose, is it video and text, or is it going to be audio? And you could just click on that and it adds the layer. Now let me show you the green screen guy. So basically I pulled him in, and right now when you look up here, this is the play window. You see that there's no green screen. And that's because I clicked on here, right on top of the play window, just like double clicked. And what it did was it brought up this window where I can do all kinds of stuff. But what I wanted was called keying. And keying is where I went in, you click on the dropper, and you come over to where the green screen was, and I clicked it, and you can see that it now has that color there, and it says basically everything that's that color, get rid of it, key it out. And so that's how you get rid of that green background. And the reason we use the green screen is it's easier for the device to pick up on the green. Now that won't work if he's wearing that same color. If he's got greens, I got a problem. I would have to have used maybe a blue for a background. All right, so I just click up here, I'm done. And so even though it looks like green screen going across here, you can see what my play window is, right? Now let me advance here a little bit. So when I started out, my guy's talking and he's standing over the top of my slide deck. Oops. So instead of redoing all of this, all I did was to make another, scroll that, make another video layer, and I went up here and I grabbed the slide. And so what he does is I put the slide right over the top of him. And see, I just shortened it. So he plays for a little bit. He's there. He's not there now because the slide's covering it. And then just at the end, I bring him back. And we go on to the next one where he's fine. So you can kind of see now the pause moment. That's in the text. The way I got that was by coming up here and clicking text. I just grabbed that first one. If you click on it, it'll show you over in the play what that should look like. There's, so took a minute for it to pull it up. So you can see the kind of the motions. If you want to see all of them, just click see all. So I grabbed the first one, and all you have to do is grab it and pull it down and drop it. And then you can go and you can edit by coming up here to the play window and just double clicking on it. And here I can change the text, I can change the color, I can change the font. If I want to adjust the size, now I can do that. They have, for some reason, they have it locked in the beginning, and you could just unlock it and change it. If I don't like where he's located, once I get that crossbars, I can move it around where I want it. Like if I need it down here, you know, you have all of this ease of movement, which is why I really like WeVideo. It's really an easy peasy thing to use. And if I don't want any of that, I messed up and I'm like, I hate this. I want to undo it, undo it, undo it. I want it gone. There it goes. All right, so I think we've got you where you're clear on what you need to do, how you need to do it, which pieces you want, you know, how to jazz it up if you want to. It's really whatever you want. You can make these things as fast as you want. You can kind of make them really jazzy. And so that is essentially, you know, that is essentially how to use all these different AI to put together these little videos to make them more interesting for your students. And you could stand up in front of the classroom and, you know, you can be standing by the side, like turn the YouTube on. When it says pause, just pause it. Do whatever the prompt is that you created with the class, then go back to the video and play until the next prompt. And your students are going to stay with you. They're going to, you know, train up to know that, like, oh, we do this activity, we listen, we're going to pause it, we're going to have an activity, you know, and it gets them to really pay attention to the lesson that you're trying to present to them and the information in a way that they like. It's enjoyable, and I think it's totally worth the time, you know, putting this all together. If you do the voice yourself and you don't do all the sparklies and stuff, you can create these really quickly, because using the AI to help write your script, and if you put it in your own voice, you can just read from your script, you know, and go right into the character animator, and then it's just a matter of recording, you know, your background. Your background doesn't have to be all that. The kids are going to stay with you because of the character that's up there talking to them. It will capture their attention. And you know what else? I've actually done this at some of my staff PDs, and the teachers, like they were watching the video and I was watching them. It was 100% AI generated, and they were right with it. So it works. So I urge you to give it a try. Contact me, let me know how it goes, or if you need any help or anything, reach out. I'm here to help, okay? So I'm glad, thank you, I'm glad you think it's great. So yeah, we're showing teachers definitely how to use AI to produce, at a higher level and quicker. Once you do this a few times, maybe the first few times, you're like jumping around. It's not going to be as crazy as how I was jumping around today. It really won't. You get a rhythm down and you can just produce these things all day long. Thank you, everybody.